speculations regarding the new head of the office. Tomorrow, I will have the consultations with those who can lead the institution.
We can speak to Doug Klain, specialist on Ukraine at the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Centre. Thanks for coming on the programme.
Thanks for having me.
How significant do you think this is?
I think it's fair to say that this is a political earthquake in Ukraine. For 6 years, Andriy Yermak, as Zelensky's chief of staff, has been widely regarded as one of the most powerful people in the country, second only to the president himself. It's also a big win for the rule of law in Ukraine. It's, I think, a very clear sign that over the years, Ukrainians have been building up these anti-corruption institutions and watchdogs to wage this war on corruption inside their country. And today, I think it is a clear signal that nobody is too high to face accountability.
What about the impact here on Ukraine's international standing? Is this a case that people are going to argue, well, this shows transparency, this shows a step forward, or is it a weakening of its position when it comes to Russia?
I think that Yermak's ouster is likely to find a lot of fans in Western capitals. Certainly here in Washington, the Trump administration was no great fan of Yermak. Neither was the Biden administration, for that matter. Yermak has been leading a lot of Ukraine's negotiations with the Trump administration and has taken criticism from a lot of American politicians, including members of Congress and members of the Trump administration itself, for not quite being able to handle the Trump administration in as good of a way. We can remember earlier this year, Ukraine's now Prime Minister, Yulia Sviridenko, was the one that came in to salvage the minerals deal, what became a U.S.-Ukraine economic partnership, when Yermak and others were unable to get that done.
But this kind of story, just the story itself, was inevitably used by Vladimir Putin. It's one of his key talking points.
Certainly, corruption in Ukraine has been a long-running issue. It's one that the Russians have used as well to try to delegitimize Ukraine, especially to try to spin up a lot of stories that international assistance to Ukraine during the full-scale invasion has been misused. Today is a good sign, though, that these anti-corruption watchdogs are able to pursue accountability. We can remember as well some very important context here. Over the summer, the Office of the President of Ukraine tried to kill off this investigation by taking these anti-corruption watchdogs, the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine and the Special Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, and trying to bring them directly under control of Zelensky's office. That inspired the first mass protests in Ukraine since the full-scale invasion, and it forced Zelensky to walk back those moves. Now we see the results.
And how damaging has this whole thing been for Zelensky?
Well, this is a move that, over the last week, I think there has been growing pressure ever since this large-scale corruption scandal broke over profits being taken from the country's state-owned nuclear energy company. It's a corruption scandal that implicated a lot of top officials in the government, now including Yermak, it seems. And so about a week ago, there was quite a lot of public pressure on Zelensky to fire Yermak. That seemed to subside for the moment when there was this latest round of peace proposals and pressure from the United States on Ukraine. But we see that that has not gone away. And after a raid from the anti-corruption authorities on Yermak's properties this morning, Yermak then resigned.
Doug Klain, thank you so much for coming on the programme. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.